Good morning everybody and welcome to this week's Headmasters blog. It's Friday the 28th of January and I'm going to start this blog with some fantastic news. We offer our warm congratulations to Harriet Wilson, who announced her engagement to Michael Angus following last weekend. Harriet, we are all really delighted for you both and send you our warmest congratulations. It was a lovely way to start off our week. We're also very pleased as of yesterday to be relinquishing mask wearing in and around communal areas and corridors. Notwithstanding, obviously case numbers, we'll continue to monitor those very closely, and if and when we have to make a difficult decision to reinstate some of those positions, then that is exactly what we will do. But in the meantime, it really is very liberating to be able to step outside not feeling as though you're obliged to wear a mask at all ends and purposes inside. But we'll keep a very close check on that and make sure that we're operating in a very safe and measured way for all of our school community moving forward. I hosted the heads at St George's Windsor, Will Goldsmith, and one of his governors, Ian Canning, here on Tuesday for a visit to the school, and it was really lovely to see them and to start having visitors coming back around again. We had Andy Morris here also from the Hawthorns earlier on today, and I also made an excursion to Dulwich Prep in Cranbrook yesterday, which was almost a bit like going back to the old days, and it really is fantastic to be able to see people once again from the circuit, to host people at the school and to go and visit them and to start that sort of healthy degree of relationship building that's so important within our sector. And of course, needless to say, our visitors took away a super impression at the school, not least the excellent manners and real friendly, inclusive nature of the welcome that everyone offers here at Kingswood House, which is always most gratifying and rewarding to hear. On Wednesday morning, thank you to Mr Hendry and to 9H, who presented a really informative assembly about sustainability, particularly about ocean waste, and left lots of really encouraging messages about how each individual can take some personal responsibility in this matter, about the choices we make on a day-to-day basis that add up to a very meaningful collective. Meanwhile, I was invited to Lower Prep, where I had perhaps the highlight of my week, reading Julia Donaldson's famous story, Room on the Broom, with the boys and girls down there, and I really hope that they enjoyed it as much as I did. It was absolutely super, and I look forward to my next visit, when I believe I'm going to be reading The Snail and the Whale, so I'll start practicing now. On Monday afternoon, Ros McLeod joined us to lead our third instalment of the Tea and Talk programme for girls and their parents and indeed staff. It followed a theme of creativity and team building. It was a very hands-on programme this time around that went down very well, and there are some super exhibits as a result of it, which you will soon be able to see adorning the front office and indeed in this week's newsletter. So a big thank you to Ros, also to Amanda Earle and Zoe Aston and Mrs Wraith, who largely put that together. So that was very exciting, and I know that we've got some ambitious ideas for our Tea and Talk 4 with Marinda Deprano, which will be following close after half term, so watch this space. I had a very positive meeting with local residents earlier this week together with Mrs Witts. We've come a long way in the 5 years that I've been here in trying to build up trust and friendships with our neighbours. And finally, I felt as though we had really got somewhere. It was a really convivial meeting, and I'm very pleased to be able to report back to you, parents, that all of your efforts have not gone unnoticed, and largely people are driving and parking with much greater consideration, and I would ask you please to keep that up. It really does make my life that much easier when I have people around and about the school on side. So thank you very much. I also had a good meeting with class representatives this morning together with Mr Mitchell and Mrs Witts. We had a rundown of all of the sort of latest news coming into this new year, and again a very positive, uplifting meeting had by all, and keynotes from that will be circulated by the exec rep Julie Larter in the days ahead, so please do look out for that. Looking ahead, next week we have our sixth form open evening. Last year we were unable to hold this, so it's been 2 years since the last one. All year 9 and year 10 pupils are expected to attend, please, hopefully with their parents in school uniform. this will offer a great opportunity for you to talk in person with some of the choices that you might be applying for in due course. So it will be a very expedient use of your time. And finally, if you haven't already done so, please do support our production. It is coming around very, very quickly indeed before half term, and I know that we still have a few tickets left. If you are not involved in the drama, it does not mean that you should not or cannot come. It is a stellar event for the school, and traditionally we have children and parents from all age ranges, even past pupils attending to support this great effort. So please do come along, and if you would like a ticket, please contact Mrs. Harding in the school office, and I look forward to seeing you there. Mentioned in dispatches this week, well done to Bacchus in reception for his positive attitude doing read, write, ink lessons from Mr. Clerk. Well done to all of reception for Mr. Westcott for being very hardy during their PE lessons. Ted Ramsey, really good progress in mathematics from Mrs. Lambert. Toby Hazelden for excellent geography research from Miss Smith. Teddy Clifford Edwards, well done to you for your protractor work from Miss Forbes. And Cameron Edwards, listen to this, Cameron scored no fewer than 10 tries in an 11-8 victory against Duke of Kent in last week's rugby match, said Mr. Clark. That is quite something, Cameron. Come by and get a sticker from me. Well done to Seb Hutton for your sketching skills from Miss Sumners. Elliot Woosnam for raising the bar and challenging himself more in mathematics. Year 5 in general, Miss Foster's very pleased with your efforts in music and singing in particular. Cyril Brockett-Deakins, well done to you for very good contribution and understanding of a new topic in French from Madame Swift. And Phoebe Folland caught the eye during our Girls' Tea and Talk, showing increased confidence in speaking up for her turn to present her work. Well done to you. Jamil Hashemi has set a good standard of behaviour and work around the school this week, but he is the only nomination this week in 6L, so I did ask all of the pupils there to have a think and an extra effort next week, please. Into 6S, well done to Aaron, Peter, Nathaniel, Byron, Oscar, Enzo and George for giving lots of sensible points of view in debating club. Fraser Blythe, well done to you for staying behind at the end of a lesson and tucking chairs in for Mrs. Hornstetter. Enzo has worked very hard on his presentation in maths, says Mr. Farmer. And Miss Foster would like to congratulate Frankie Larter, Sam Ferrerale, Nathaniel and Alex Forbes for their hard work in the production rehearsals. They know every word and every dance move already, as well as being generally very helpful and kind. And Mr. Clark is delighted with his Year 6 maths group. So that's Dolly Morris, Lily Rose, Darcy, Henry Shern, Bertie Lewis, Finley, Newman and Reese Bishop. Into Year 7, Alex Weston and Jason Shee have been showing good focus in science, and George Ennington in particular has impressed Mr. Barrett with his metals and non-metals knowledge. Darren Usa, consistently helpful and kind, says Miss Highlands, and George Ennington, and again, another nomination for you with your work ethic in English, well done. Zach Garcia, settling very nicely into 7BL. Alyssa Chung, very polite, respectful, a great ambassador of the Kingswood House Way, reports Miss Black. And James Miller has caught the eye of Mr. Farmer with his hard work in maths. Harry Peters, well done, growing in confidence, reports Miss Patel in recent weeks. Pippa Taylor and Freya Kruger, really good guides at the recent open morning, reports Mrs. Earl. And Mr. Barrett, very pleased with Sebastian Versace, Zachary Yanni and Dylan Newman for your increased effort in maths lessons. Krishan Idris, very respectful and mature, says Miss Foster. Dylan Bishop, really good work ethic in the last week from Miss Foster too. And Enzo Reed, well done to you, who having been away, not only accessing the lessons with good gusto away from school, but has jumped straight back into school with the same focus. And Isabel Newton, been a good week for you. Firstly from Mr. Barrett, who's noticed an extra effort. Secondly from Mr. Bailey, who's really pleased with your DT. And thirdly from Mr. Lordy for your work with him. So a great week for you, Isabel. And Dylan Bishop, again, another nomination for you from Mrs. Hornstetter for your history prep, which I believe you undertook at home with the benefit of a torch because you had a power cut and all your lights went out, but you still got the job done. That is truly endeavour in action. Shay Trichalia, you have impressed Mr. Marks with your poetry work. And into 8L, Josh McCrossan, working very hard in geography for Mr. Lordy. Arlo Saywell, très bien from Madame Taylor for your work in French. Jasper Wong really impressed Mrs. Bray with his cross-curricular links between history and English on Nazi Germany, and Theo Jenkins really catching the eye with his fact-finding in science for Miss Black. Well done to Gregory Agronoski, a really good positive start at Kingswood House last week, and well done to Zach Moffat and Johnny Barnes for being kind and welcoming to him. And Joel Mukarati follows up on his good week last week with a nomination for Mr. Barrett this week for his hard work. Well done in seniors to Patrick Gray, who has also been a very good mentor for James Kilkenny, settling into the school very nicely. And Mr. Sekdeo has nominated James, in fact, for how well he has settled, and Ollie Gow too, for assisting Patrick in helping him to settle in. And Ben Hubbard has accessed remote learning very maturely in the last week, says Mr. Sekdeo too. Ivan Tutai, Nathan Ashwin and Oscar Davino have worked hard for Mr. Hendry. Ivan also with his excellent photography work, which you can see in the newsletter today. And well done, says Mrs. Wraith, to lots of the seniors for their excellent artwork, much of which you will see in the newsletter, not this week, but next week, because there's already so much in there this week. Into Year 10, Yejin Lee, Harvey Weems, Alex Hone, Ali Al-Rabai, Tommy Collins have all accrued more than 20 house points already this term. Yayun is out, setting the standard with 38. And Jess Dunn, a very good comeback from you, having been off sick. You've come back in and really impressed everybody with your work ethic and your friendliness too. So thank you, Jess, and well done. Mrs. Weston would like to say well done to her form for being more prompt in the morning. Ali Dawson in 11B has made excellent efforts to catch up after being off isolating, says Mr. Bailey. Jack Beckman, a very, very improved work ethic in lessons, although I have to say I think he's probably had a pretty good platform to start with. Jack, who's recently won a drama award to Claremont Fan Court into sixth form, so congratulations to you, Jack. And Theo Spick, our head boy, as ever, hardworking and conscientious, but deserves a nomination in particular for his science work for Miss Black. Cameron Allenby, a fantastic result in PE last week. Well done to you. And in general, Mrs. Wraith is very pleased with all of her forms grades from the mock exams. Mrs. Wraith and Mrs. Earl would also just like to join me in saying well done to all of the girls, parents and staff for their creativity during the tea and talk last week. And finally, Sam Slaley and Owen Fisher have put in lots of work in their music revision over the holidays, and they reaped their just reward, the fruits of their labours, with excellent mock exam results in music. So Miss Foster is delighted with you. So that wraps up what's been a really busy week, a fantastic week here at Kingswood House. I think everybody needs to draw breath over the weekend. Lots of rehearsals taking place next week as we draw closer to our production just before half term. So please make sure that all of the boys and girls get plenty of sleep, keep a good diet, and return to school on Monday in a fine, positive, uplifting mood, ready to embrace every single level of opportunity on offer at Kingswood House in the days ahead.